Second time lucky. Craig didn't respond to me the first time. Welcome back to the Bring a Mick podcast. It's the last episode of Halloween month. It's been a long ride. Glad it's coming to the end because we've done a lot of horror stuff, but I'm very excited about this episode because it's probably the most kind of out of the ashes idea that I've had. Because a lot of the others have been kind of inspired. Well, I suppose this is inspired too. So, but everyone should know the Until Dawn game, decision-making horror-based game. It's probably one of the two famous ones is Until Dawn, and then oh my god, what remind me? What's the one? Outlast. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of horror games.
Yeah, but I'd say those two are like the two of the most famous ones, or is that just me, just because I've played them?
Probably recent. Evil. Probably recent, I'd say. You are right on that front.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, right, but anyway, there are a few scenes, there are a few segments in that game. I very much enjoyed playing that game. I think I played it in a group of people at uni. We all just sat in a room and made the decisions with each other, which was quite difficult on a timer. But there were some segments with a psychiatrist played by, and I've already forgotten his name. Oh yeah, no, Peter Stormare, who is in Prison Break. Yeah. He's the for anyone who hasn't played Until Dawn, what's the character's name in Prison Break?
I haven't seen
Brucey?
Brucey, yeah, Brucey. He's the little guy with long hair.
Oh no, Abruzzi. It's Abruzzi.
Abruzzi. With the long hair, got his. Anyway, I just remembered any detail I give might be a spoiler, so I'll just leave that. If anyone hasn't watched Prison Break, but anyway, there's segments in this Until Dawn where he is a psychiatrist and he is and it's a very, very weird setting, and a little Easter egg in that is that his little psychiatrist office gets creepier and creepier every single time you return. It has a little bit less coverage, there's gusts of wind.
Is that an Easter egg?
Yeah, there's literally a heart.
It's very obvious. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit. Yeah, it's I don't know. I wouldn't actually blame people for not even noticing, to be honest, because it's because you return to it after hours, don't you? Sometimes you play a bit of it and you don't even remember what it looked like.
I just remember one of the times it does it. There's no wall and he's half in the forest. So I don't think they were hiding it.
You'd notice it.
Easter egg.
But anyway,
did you see that?
Not many people would.
But anyway, I thought those scenes were very enticing. Very it was away from the. Yeah, it was away from the main game, and it was very interesting. It was basically he'd kind of sit there and he'd ask you about almost how you were going to play the game, and you were kind of unsure as a character, who you were supposed to be in the role, but you were sort of talking to a psychiatrist as if you were playing the game. There's a twist at the end. I won't give that away, but they basically ask you, for instance, what scares you, this or this, and he gives you a big flip book, and you have to point to what scares you the most. And I just thought, that would be quite easy to replicate. And I don't know if I've ever seen. I don't know if any other podcast has done this. I mean, it's not the most complex idea, but I don't know if anyone's ever taken inspiration from Until Dawn, at the very least. So originality. I copied and pasted all ideas, because what I do for notes is I message myself on Messenger, and I copied and pasted it onto a Word document so I could do it on the computer, so I didn't have to look at my phone. But it came with a blue background, so it looks really weird. And it was a bit hard to read, but I think we'll get through it. I thought I'd go with the ones that they actually ask you in Until Dawn. So it'd be what scares you, this or this? Oh, this one scare you, this one scare you. Those are the actual questions they ask. And then I sort of took inspiration and made my own ones, maybe a few more developed ones rather than sort of binary 50-50s. But anyway, I want you to think about it really hard before you go for your decision, because I really want you to sort of not think about in theory what would be more scary, but really sort of put yourself in these scenarios. Well, some of them aren't scenarios, but put yourself in it and really sort of feel it, rather than just kind of immediately go, oh yeah, this one's just automatically scarier than this one just because of what I know. Yeah, so just But anyway,
Okay.
the ones they did in the
We
flip
can do
book
this.
from the start. The first one in the flip book, because I watched the YouTube videos and I noted it all down. He said, "Which gender worries you more?" I know it's a weird one, but it's like men worry me or women worry me. So maybe if you're crossing the street or something.
Well, if I saw I feel like men would worry me more because they might like stab me or mug me.
So men.
Yeah, I think men worry me more as well.
Yeah.
But
Women could
I am
stab you
scared of
too, Tom.
girls.
Women could also stab you.
Yeah, but I don't. I feel like men are more likely to stab me. I don't know why.
No, big hulking men are more scary.
Can we not
than
be sexist, Tom?
petite women. It's just true, isn't it?
Right. Anyway, next one. So we're going with men for that one.
Yeah.
Yes. We all go with men usually as well, don't we?
Pick
Karen
one.
Henry.
Planes scare me or crowds scare me?
Crowns.
Crowd.
Oh.
You say
Crowd
planes or planes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Planes.
planes could just stop at any moment and you just drop
Yeah.
out of the sky and die.
It's too logical though. I don't want that logical thinking.
What do you mean? But I don't
want it
find
to be
crowds
like-
very scary. I'm not claustrophobic.
Roy,
Okay.
we're gonna think illogically here.
No.
Crowds may also just stop.
I suppose there's always, like, you could get, if a crowd all moves back at once, you could get trampled and the air could go out of you. I know there's that possibility, but that doesn't really scare me as much as me being on a plane and me dropping out of the sky and dying in a ball of fire.
It could be like Lion King, and you could get trampled by humans, like Mufasa gets trampled by the things.
Right, you've linked it back to film there, Tom. Well done, mate.
You get what I mean you get what I mean about the logic thing. Like a spider crawling up your arm is more scary than seeing a pool of water, even though a pool of water is definitely more dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just I just want you to kind of get creepy vibes, you know, as well as just sort of thinking, what's more likely to kill me, you know?
But in terms of what actually scares me more,
if we're talking in that sense, then neither of them scare me.
Oh my god, Tom!
Tom is hard. Tom is hard.
Henry, do you look at a plane or a crowd and go, "Ooh, that's scary"?
It just something just popped up. Your results, Tom. Tom is hard as nails. You just come up.
Why do you have my results?
No, okay, I'm joking.
Plane turbulence scares me a little bit in real life, but that's
I don't know if I've ever had plane turbulence. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think I've been on a plane 4 times or something, and I haven't. Well, actually, no, not 4 times, 8 times.
When you get like heavy, all right, show off. When you get like heavy turbulence, that's quite scary. Just because you think, like, if you sit next to the window seat and the wing just rips off or something, I'd be like, oh fucking hell.
What if it wasn't turbulence and a plane hit you and you're dead, and this is just imagination?
A plane hit me. Where am I?
Wait, I'm talking to Rory.
Are we playing Snipers versus Stunters on GTA?
Right, anyway, let's move on. Right, I fear heights, or I fear drowning.
Drowning.
Yeah.
Drowning because the idea of being trapped, like, I guess. Yeah, being trapped deep underwater with water filling. I know it's meant to be the idea of apparently drowning is meant to be quite peaceful. Like, as you drown, once you accept it. I don't know how people know that because you'd be dead if you drown.
Because people probably lose consciousness, don't they?
I have a question about this one. So you said heights or drowning. So you've picked just something that doesn't necessarily kill me or dying.
Again, Tom, you're just over logicking it. Which one are you scared more of?
It just like if you said dying from a height or drowning would make more sense.
Okay, then there's the new question. Now answer it.
Again, I say drowning. Okay. I feel like dying from a height would be quite fun because you get a little like adrenaline rush as you fall before you die.
It'd be quite
Tom, you are a skater boy.
Said see you later.
See you later, boy.
Adrenaline. Oh, wow. Just Tom loves adrenaline.
She did ballet.
True. Do you want to sing the whole song, Tom? We might need to stretch it out a bit.
What more can I say?
Okay, no, I'm joking because I actually have a lot to get through, and
In
it was
terms
half an
of-
hour last time.
In terms of the death would be quicker as well, wouldn't it? If you were falling from a height.
Yeah.
I think it's just.
There would be the anticipation of it. I guess it'd be anticipation. Right? I think drowning would be scary, especially if you're like in the middle of the ocean, like just.
Do you think the pain of hitting it hitting the ground in that split second? Do you think you'd feel it, or do you think you'd just be instantly dead?
I think I think it'd be instant.
I think every single pain, no matter even instant pain, rises up a bit. You know, like there is a bit of a gradient there. So I don't think you would. I think you'd start to feel it and then you'd just be dead.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of assume. Based like even when you touch something really hot, it's more the shock rather than the pain that makes you pull away. So like I don't think anything's like that's instant. But the thing is, like, I do want to get my 2 cents on height because I feel like I have had the sort of situation like when you're a kid in a swimming pool and you're like, I definitely had like a fight in a swimming pool and I was like underwater for like a couple of seconds longer than I was comfortable, and that was scary. But then like I don't know, when I see something really far down and then I have that little split like that thought, like I could just die here. Like I could just fall off and die like right now and that's it. Like I can't change my mind once I've fallen off the edge. That's a really like scary thought. I think that's an overthinking kind of thing. Like if you overthink a lot, then that kind of.
Then
happens.
Again, like that's you in a pool for like 2 seconds underwater. If you're out in the middle of the ocean alone, like slowly falling down, that would be worse.
Yeah, it's the length and the loneliness of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that's
so.
That kind of, I think that ties into something else.
Are we agreeing on drowning, Rory?
Yeah, I don't think we have to agree, but I do agree.
Yeah, no, you don't have to agree.
Yeah.
Right, now it's a bit more simplistic now. Snakes versus rats was the next one I saw.
I'd say rats.
I've seen rats. We had rats in our kitchen in third year of uni. And I remember
Were you supposed to, or was it like a pet? Or
no,
you're joking.
No, they got in through like a pipe that was broken underground, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, I remember I went back for a week near the end of uni just to like get all my stuff and like see everyone and say goodbye and stuff. Again, that part doesn't matter. A bit of context for you. I put a load of food in my cupboard where my cupboard had been for the whole year, and I'd never had rats in there, obviously. I went down there the morning after I'd got there, like, to have a look and, I don't know, make breakfast or whatever, and there was just 2 rats sitting on, like, a tea towel in my cupboard, and I shit myself. I jumped
just
up.
Sitting on a tea towel.
I found it. I did a little... and I don't think I've ever... I've never done that. That's rude. I mean, don't talk about my weight head, though.
I was just talking about like they're scared of mice, aren't they? Oh, I don't like.
Yeah, I've never screamed at a snake, so I probably would say rats.
See, like, my reasoning is I've never really had a confrontation with rats. Not that I've had a confrontation with snakes, but I don't know if you ever did. Either of you ever go to that like wildlife day they had?
Just imagining Tom facing up with a snake.
I'm not scared of you.
You know when snake charmers they move up and down with their eyes. Imagine Tom looking at it in the eyes,
just doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, carry on, Tom.
I'll carry on my story. Okay?
Yeah.
But do either of you remember those like wildlife days they had at Oaklands Park when we were like, we must have been like 10.
Oaklands? They did that at Oaklands?
Yeah. I remember
That's
there was
shoddy.
one in there, and there was like this tent, and it had like I think it was a python. It might, I don't know. So I can't tell the species by looking at it, but it was a big snake. And they had these other like small ones that, like, obviously they're not going to put a python around your neck. They had these smaller ones where you could just like hold them, and I held it, and ever since then I haven't been afraid of them. Then rats, I don't like them. There's like that torture thing where they put a bucket, like in Game of Thrones, they put a bucket over you with rats in and heat it up, and like they don't do that with snakes because rats are vicious. So,
I thought, to be fair, the way you were building that up, I thought you were going to say snakes, but nah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I do immediately find rats more like, well, they're more associated with horror as well, which makes me kind of
and disease.
inclined towards that. Yeah, disease.
Rats are minging. Rats
It's
are
hard.
mean.
It's hard to associate. It's hard to associate instantly rats with disease. Like you can because we're educated, but it's not like one of those sort of instant things. Like you don't get.
If I had no knowledge of anything ever and I saw a rat, my first inclination wouldn't be disease. You're right.
Okay. The next one is guns versus knives.
Knives.
Yeah.
The idea of like the knife going into you.
Yeah.
I don't know why that scares me more. It's like the prick. I don't know the prick of it. Like when something pierces your skin. I know a bullet would do that as well, but I feel like it'd go in quicker. Whereas a knife, it'd be someone stabbing you with it, wouldn't it? And I feel like that's more scary. The idea of that's more scary. Like a gun, a bullet's just sort of. I don't know. The word professional comes to mind. I don't know why, but it just feels like it. I don't know. It's just very quick.
You'd be shot by someone. You'd be shot by someone. It's like, oh, at least it's a professional doing the job. I'd be uncomfortable if it was just a regular knife or gun wielder.
Well, we don't have like we probably do have illegal gun crime in the UK, but people don't have guns here like they do in places like America. So I don't know. I just sort of see guns as
it's not as normalised here. It'll be if it was American. If we were American, this will probably be open shut.
Yeah, people people that have guns here should have guns for the most part. You know what I mean?
Also, you just look at like horror films in general, like Mike Myers, Jason. They don't have guns, do they? They have knives. For some reason.
Tension.
I don't know if there's a psychological aspect to it.
It's because you're
it's just slower. That's all.
Well,
yeah, and
personal.
Longing it out would be scary as well. Like
the glinting and the sunlight and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
all kinds of little factors. And guns are like black, so they don't glint in the sunlight. They kind of just blend in. They're just little dull objects. You know, if all guns were silver, then maybe they'd be a bit more scary, but they're not. So, you know.
I mean, there are some, I'd assume.
Well, hang on. Wait,
Desert Eagle.
Did you both agree on snakes or rats?
Yeah,
we both said rats. I think
both agreed on rats.
Oh,
I think we agreed on everything. So.
Okay, thank God. That would make this one really difficult because it's your answer to that one versus cockroaches. So rats versus cockroaches.
I don't think I've ever seen a cockroach.
I actually don't think I have either.
Do we have?
I feel like.
I don't know. That might be really dumb, but I don't know if it is.
I've got no clue.
I feel like loads of cockroaches on you would be more minging than loads of rats on you because they're smaller and they're all pitter patter and they could crawl into orifices that rats couldn't.
Orifices.
I know. It kind of goes against my whole anti-logic thing, but they both spread disease quite badly. But also, cockroaches are notoriously hard to kill. So you might slap one or like beat one with something, and they would literally just not die. It'd be like invincible things all over you, I suppose.
I'm going to say cockroaches for the fact that they could like crawl in my ear, or in my nose, or in my mouth. I know a rat could do that as well, actually, crawl in my mouth. But nonetheless, like
you have to be opening it really wide. You have to be like a full-on scream, like a theatrical scream.
I'll say cockroaches.
Okay.
I see. I sort of want to disagree just for the sake that we've agreed on everything, but I can't actually. I can't really decide because I don't like either of them.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Instant decision. Right. You've got a rat on you on one shoulder. You've got a cockroach on the other. Which one are you more scared of? Actually, no, that's stupid. No, that's stupid because there'd be more cockroaches, wouldn't it? So, okay, 10 cockroaches on one shoulder, or a rat on another.
10 cockroaches.
Okay, 5 cockroaches.
Okay, just how we probably still 5 cockroaches.
Yeah, if they're on his shoulder, they could get into his ear.
I'd say okay, so cockroaches.
And they could all go in different. They could all go in different directions as well.
Yeah.
There's probably more rats than cockroaches, so I've probably been a bit unfair with giving more cockroaches there, but whatever. Okay, whatever. I should have maybe said 100 versus 100, but anyway, onwards and upwards. Clowns or scarecrows?
Clowns,
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty open and shut.
Scarecrows aren't that scary. They're kind of scary, but they're not that scary.
I read that old Goosebumps one.
The one from the original Wizard of Oz is proper creepy.
If you've ever read the Scarecrow's Walk at Midnight, is it? Or I don't know if it's that or Goosebumps.
I feel like I remember that from our Year 4 class. I feel like that was on in our bookshelf.
Yeah, I think I read that a few times. I read that a few times, and I very much enjoyed it, and that probably created like a slight fear, but still clowns just absolutely trumped that one.
Yeah. Have either of you seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Seen parts of it. I think I watched like an hour of it. Is that the one where they're in like a town and they go to like an old abandoned house?
Yeah, and they find a book and it starts writing the stories.
Yeah.
I've seen the first hour. Quite creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember if it's in the first hour, but it's quite creepy. And then spoilers if anyone doesn't want to hear them. The film's average, but like he turns one of the people into a scarecrow, and the transformation is really creepy because he's like coughing up hay and his hands are like spurting hay out of the fingernails. But yes, still clowns.
Okay, right. I'm gonna skip. There's one here, and I don't know why I wrote it down, especially because I've actually got loads that I wrote down myself. I don't know why I left this in. It was gore crows. Fucking actually stupid, right? Gore or needles is a more interesting one.
Gore.
Yeah. No, I don't find. I'm gonna sound like Hard Man Tom here, but I don't find either of them particularly scary.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not immediately.
Yeah, but like
probably needles for the uncomfortable feeling of them pricking your skin. I feel like I'm pretty desensitized to gore now.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'm quite. I feel like I'm fairly desensitized to needles because, like, we've had so many vaccines and I've given blood, and it's just sort of.
And you do heroin so often.
Yeah. That's why. That's why I laugh, because I realised when I said I'm desensitized to needles, it's going to make it sound like that. but
don't do heroin, kids.
Or adults.
I feel like,
even Steve-O didn't do heroin.
But like you say, you're desensitized gore, but that's more like from films and TV shows. I feel like in real life, it'd proper like scare you. Like if you saw a severed head on the floor, you'd be like, "All right, give me that needle. I'll take some blood. I don't want to see that anymore."
If it was literally a choice, you either have to see a severed head of your mother, or
I'd probably go for the needle. I'd probably go for the needle.
On balance.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
I've had 2 injection experiences. No, 3 I can remember. One was the booster injection or something we did. That was fine, obviously. And another one I had in my gums when I had like a tooth taken out, I think. And then another one when I had a biopsy on my leg, for like an allergy thing. And the one in my gum was horrible, but it was really quick. The one in my leg was so like it literally, I must have hit a nerve or something. I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but it was one of the most painful things ever. It literally like almost, I think it must have hit a nerve, like a proper one, because that was really horrible. So I mean, I feel like it's just ignorant of me not to go for gore though, because I haven't seen gore and I've seen and felt needles, so it's a bit unfair. But I'm not even picking because I'm asking, so there we go.
Again, I'm not a doctor. If anyone had any idea that I was, but correct me if I'm wrong. But like when they take bone marrow, they use like a big needle for that, don't they? And they put it like right into your bone.
Ugh.
I might be wrong, but apparently when they take bone marrow, that's like the most intense pain you can feel. So if one of us had that, I think we might feel different.
I don't know. Going by what I'm going to stick with my first answer because I've never seen a severed head, so I don't know if that'd scare me. Probably would.
Oh, so are we disagreeing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Finally. Right. The final one from the Until Dawn section of this is clowns or zombies.
Clowns.
Yeah, clown. I mean, zombies aren't real. And I know that's the logical thinking, but
I don't know.
Clowns.
If you're talking about the idea of zombies taking over the world as a whole, That's quite scary. But zombie, like a single zombie, isn't as creepy as like an evil clown.
Okay, if someone told you there was a real zombie, I don't know how I'd do this, because when it's zombies, it implies that there's a lot of them. If someone told you there was a zombie, someone just got attacked by a zombie, you got someone just got attacked by like an evil clown, which one would scare you more? Like it's a trustworthy person, so you believe in this.
I hope I'm not alone on this, but because of the way the media has portrayed zombies in like films and games, I would sort of be. Obviously, it's going to be a dreadful thing, and I'd realise it very quickly. But I think initially, I'd be slightly excited by the prospect of a zombie apocalypse.
I think
kind of cool.
I think, in that situation, zombies are probably more scary because there could be a big outbreak of zombieism.
So Tom's excited, Rory's scared.
No, but if there was like a worldwide zombie apocalypse versus a worldwide
Tommy's rock hard, isn't he?
a worldwide zombie apocalypse versus a worldwide clown apocalypse, whatever that is, I think zombies would scare me more.
Oh, hang on, an extra question's popped up here. Clowns or Tom? Which is more scary?
Tom.
Yeah, I agree. I'm asking, but I'm answering as well. Oh God, rock hard, right? We're onwards and upwards again. I did a little sort of. Oh, I don't know. I think I might skip them for the end because we've already done like a good 25 minutes. I think actually, yeah. Well, I'm not looking at the thing, but I'm having to do quick maths because I'm not using Audacity anymore for the actual recording. I don't know if that was a promo or not because I said I'm not using it anyway.
You're waffling.
Yeah, I am a bit. Horror films or horror? This is the ones I made now. Horror films or horror games, or just pick the most, or just pick the scariest one. Yeah, scariest. It's always going to be scary.
Horror games.
Yeah.
But when you're playing a game, like you feel like you're in it. Especially Resident Evil 7 on VR. That fucked me up.
I think I watched PewDiePie play that. Until that was at sixth form during study periods. I think I watched
with headphones on, using the controller. You feel like you're within it. So yeah, that's definitely scary.
Remember when we used to go around Cameron's and play out? We did it with loads of games. We did like Layers of Fear, Outlast, Until Dawn. We all played it through that night. Like when you're watching someone else play Outlast. Yeah, no. When you're watching someone else play Outlast, it's not that bad. But then when you've got the controller and you're being chased by the cannibal doctor or whatever, that's a lot worse.
I think I got a bit immature with this one, but a cat-sized spider, if you can imagine that quickly, or 100
spider-sized cat.
Oh, I thought you said a cat's eye.
A cat-sized spider.
Spider.
I'll set the scene, right? Someone's told you to get something in a basement. It's quite dark down there. You happen to use a torch. There's webs everywhere, and you just turn around. You point it up to the corner of the basement. What's scarier? What's a scarier thought? A cat-sized spider or 100 tarantulas?
100 no.
It's difficult, isn't it? I'd say that's really difficult.
See, I thought you were going to say a cat-sized spider or 100 spider-sized cats. I was going to say that sounds quite cute. Yeah.
I back myself against one cat-sized spider rather than 100 tarantulas. They'd pile on me. I think 100.
Got a new hole.
Is it just us looking at them, or are we getting attacked by them, and we have to pick which one we think we'd win in a fight against?
It's just what's scarier. It's just what would freak you out more.
Nah, in the moment, the cat-sized spider is more scary because it's a shock.
I think that would terrify me the most. Like
Eight-legged freaks. If anyone's seen that,
if you capture it, you'd make millions because you'd found the world's biggest
Tom,
spider.
Okay, well, let's move on. God's sake, Tom! I did prep you for this. Right, this is it. I'll tell you what, my mind goes weird places. Right, spirits you can see, so ghosts, or spirits you can't, so possession.
Spirits you can't.
So, and when I say spirits you can see, I'm talking sort of like Hill House, like I don't know, the guy with the hat on or whatever.
The idea of someone else in the house being possessed is really scary to me.
And like,
I don't know.
Possession, they could pretend to be them normally, so you could have no idea something was wrong.
Okay, what if you knew they were possessed, and what if you knew like the other one was a ghost? Like it was just in your face. There's no like there's no illusion. It's just you know about it.
Okay, if I know about both of them, I'd probably say a ghost you can see, because a possession is just going to look like your normal mate or your normal family member.
Nah, I think that's
a ghost
creepier.
You can see could be like a floating top hat, not just a top hat, the floating man with the top hat.
I've watched possession movies, and I don't think the scariness stops as soon as you know they're possessed.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not like they don't do credits as soon as one of the characters gets possessed because it won't be scary.
The possessed character's like crawling backwards up and around your room.
Okay, yeah. Is it possession like The Exorcism, where the head's turning around and they're doing spider walks down the stairs?
I guess, I just guess what the most popular portrayal of possession is. That's what I'd say.
I think that would be more scary, because it would be scary to see, but it would also be scary to see someone you know like do that. Like, imagine if you rocked up to Rory's house one day and his head was spinning around.
Quite difficult for us to do. He's a bit far away from us.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing that stops that from happening.
Yeah. Hang on, I should have made some sound effects of me scratching notes as a psychiatrist, because that would have made it a bit more entertaining. There we go. Did anyone hear that? I don't know how sensitive my mic is.
Are you going to tell us at the end what all of our answers mean? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Next one is right. This is another like sort of I'm setting the scene for you. You're has anyone seen Sherlock? The Well, hang on. I just want to set the scene really well. You know, Sherlock the Hounds of Baskerville.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't.
What is that?
Okay, the newer one.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it then. Say you're in your front room and you've got like what's the word? You know, like the window doors, the big window doors. Patio is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Patio doors. And you can just see out into your you've got the garden outside, and you're just sitting watching TV, and you hear something, and you get up and you look out there, and then the automatic lights that come up when someone's there clicks on. What would be a scarier sight to see? Ghostface in like Scream or Michael Myers?
Michael Myers.
I'd say Michael Myers.
I think the mask is scarier of Michael Myers.
Did you know the mask is just a Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek that they spray painted?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I've heard about that. A lot of trivia stuff that comes from doing a horror movie month or a Halloween month.
Yeah. Scary. Was it? It's Ghostface, isn't it? Not Scary Face. Ghostface is just like a normal man.
I think there's some theories say Michael Myers is.
Yeah, but there's one of the films he gets shot like 4 times and he just carries on going.
He's a normal man, but he's also massive, and he's got like I don't know. It's just
and can survive getting shot in the body 4 times.
I think the franchise isn't actually owned by anyone. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the original writer of the film didn't actually have any rights over the character, so different people who directed and made films actually portrayed it very differently. So I mean, okay, so I don't know. Say if he was an immortal, say if he was just a really tough guy to kill, like I don't know if that changes. No, it wouldn't really change your initial reaction, would it? It's a bit too complicated.
I feel like actually my initial reaction might be Ghostface, because like he's really quick and like wiry in the film. I don't think I've ever seen Mike Myers walk like more than like a brisk pace.
Yeah, but his walk is scary.
But like, so just like Ghostface, he's gonna chase you down like really quickly.
Have you not seen the 2018 Halloween?
Yeah.
He
But
walks quite a lot.
I watched it in. Yeah, but he never runs.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't run. I don't think he can.
He's
Like,
sort of got that.
If I saw him, I'd be legging it right out of the front door.
He's got that like Terminator sort of vibe about him, where like he's going to catch you eventually. Like he'll hunt you down.
Do you think every time
you'll be sprinting and he'll be walking slowly, and then you'll trip on like a stick, and then he'll catch up?
Where did that stick come from? Could you imagine if every time? Can you imagine?
Just imagine Henry popping up from beside a bush while you're running. Where did that stick come from?
It was me. Just threw a bunch of sticks down for sport, so I could film it and go viral. But could you imagine Michael Myers just every time it went dark, he just sprinted?
every time you run past the corner, he starts legging it.
Bolts it, yeah.
He's just like an Olympic runner, but like no one knows. It just
the idea of him running really fast is really funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm imagining him like vaulting over brick walls to like try and cut you off.
And then the light goes back on him, and he just starts walking again.
I just realised it is getting a bit dark outside, and I feel like that's going to help our getting into it a bit more. Not quite dark yet. It's just sort of dusk. So, kids, if you're outside, make sure you go home.
This is when the ghoulies come
Dinner's
out.
probably ready, or starting to be ready. Right, another one. A crowd of people in a dark room with a low ceiling, or by yourself.
Basement.
Kind of, yeah, but a bunch of people. Or by yourself in a large space with an ominous noise somewhere.
What sort of ominous noise? Just like a...
Whatever noise you can think of that feels ominous.
That's scary. Okay.
I think that's scarier. I think what you described just sounds like a badly lit club.
What? Yeah. Why does the low ceiling? What does the low ceiling play?
Literally just describe B&B. Wait, I'll rephrase this. A crowd of people in a dark room with low ceiling. Freaky Friday is on by Chris Brown.
Okay, that does sound pretty scary.
Okay, fine. They're all panicking. All the people in the room are panicking. Like sort of 28 weeks later.
But we don't know why.
We don't know why that.
I think the alone part of what you said before with that noise that you don't know about makes it scarier because it's dark as well and you don't know what's around you.
That's the thing. If you're in a massive crowd of people, you're always going to have that little sense of feeling a little safer just because there's so many people there. If you're completely alone,
it's like a shared fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what brings me back. This makes me think of that nightclub fire that happened sort of 20 years ago or something, maybe more. I think it was probably quite a lot more than 20 years ago, but I remember seeing a sort of a documentary about it. Where it was all like everyone started panicking, and it was literally a light in like 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. I don't know why that just took me back to that. I was thinking more the 28 weeks later thing, but I don't know. I can think of plenty of scenarios that would absolutely that would absolutely terrify me. I think without context is a bit less scary.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. Right. Just this is actually it's a weird one. You kind of just picture just your own sort of scary scenario, whether it's Hill House or Insidious or Sinister, 28 Weeks Later, whatever horror film. What music do you find more scary? Some sort of like a few piano notes or like a jerky violin?
Piano notes.
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering if it was open shut again.
I'd say a jerky violin.
I
don't know if jerky is the correct term to use, but like it's sort of the psycho music.
Well, it just means lots of herbs and spices.
Shut up.
That doesn't sound that scary at all, then.
The piano music might. Should I tell you my scary scenario?
Yeah, do it.
I've been watching a lot of like Paris catacombs videos and stuff lately, so I was imagining myself alone in the catacombs with just candlelight to take me.
Good.
And the piano notes slowly building sounds like, I don't know, sounds more scary to me just because it sort of builds tension and like you're always looking behind you, whereas the jerky violin is sort of, I don't know, in your face, isn't it? It's very much sort of like the killer's there, you're gonna die. whereas piano notes are like the killer, he might be here.
Imagine if violins have consciousness. Imagine if violins have consciousness and they have their own language, and so they understand like what music's being played. So like all the violins communicate, like, oh, we're gonna die. I'm doing a horror movie. I'm doing a sad scene. I'm doing a kissing scene. That's a horrendous joke.
It was bad.
Yeah. Right.
I was just thinking of Psycho with that music alone used to terrify me. Like I hadn't even seen the film, but I remember there's a scene in Daddy Daycare with Eddie Murphy where one of the children he's looking after has an accident, shall we say, in the bathroom, and he opens the door and that music plays, and I used to not be able to watch it because the music scared me.
Oh, you weren't always hard,
his mask has slipped a bit. Tom Purcell, vulnerable. It's like little it's like the Voldemort in Harry Potter. We found the real Tom.
When he gets put into like the cauldron.
What if we just like tap a finger on Tom's head and like we get lost in his consciousness and we're just in a train station and we just see a little naked Tom huddled underneath a bench?
Is that
what
Tom
are you on about?
Yeah, you're chatting shit.
Not in Harry Potter. You know the
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tom's new documentary on Netflix is going to be called Tom Purcell, Vulnerable.
It does sound. It sounds like my first cologne fragrance.
Surely that wouldn't get many women.
Wouldn't get many what?
I just like it's just how PewDiePie says it. I find it funny. Right, I've got 5 more, and I just noticed that for the last one, I put it in white so that it was more easily visible, but I didn't do it for any of the other ones. So pat on the back for me. Speaking of pat on the backs, the next one is a tap on the shoulder when you think you're alone, or a glimpse.
I was going to say, I'm glad you added when you think you're alone.
Yeah. If it's just a tap on the shoulder in a party, it's not going to be that scary. It's going to be like, oh, someone wants to talk to me. Right. Anyway, tap on the shoulder when you think you're alone, or again when you think you're alone, there is a glimpse of a face in the distance.
The face.
The tap on the shoulder.
One's more threatening, one's more eerie.
I don't like the idea of someone being behind me when I think I'm alone.
But when they're in front of you, it's fine.
Well, yeah, because you can size up what it is. And they're like right behind you if they're tapping on your shoulder.
If you're alone and you get a tap on the shoulder, you're not going to think anything. Like you'd be scared instantly, but you're not. If they're tapping on the shoulder, they probably don't mean any harm.
Well, I don't. You never know.
But
it's maybe scary.
If you're in sort of like a little room and you see a little face staring at you in the corner, it's like one of those things.
It says in the distance, though.
How far in the distance?
I'm imagining I'm
anything.
I'm imagining I'm in like a graveyard or something.
It's not going to be much of a distance if it's in your house, Tom, unless you were in a mansion somehow.
You're telling me, Roy, if you're in a graveyard alone and you see a little face staring at you from like a tree, you'll be like, "Nah, man, that's all right."
No, I'm not saying it'd be all right. I'm saying that I'd be more scared if I felt a tap on my shoulder when I thought I was alone.
Probably be the groundskeeper being like, "Can you get off here, please?"
I work hard on this grass. I'm one of wolves.
What if that's him up the tree and it's just a dwarf or something, Tom?
But it'd still be scary just having someone staring at you from a tree.
And it wouldn't be scary if he came up behind you without you knowing and he taps you on the shoulder.
What if the face was the groundskeeper as well?
That's what I just said, you mole.
Oh, was it? Okay, no, I got distracted because I'm looking at the time. We've been going for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Move on to the next one. We disagree.
Would you rather be violently hunted? I stole this one. Would you violently hunted in the Purge, or wake up to find there has been a zombie apocalypse, but you survived? Oh, we know what Tom's going to go for. Love zombie apocalypse.
No.
Wait,
is
what's
this
more
would you
scary?
rather, or what's
Yeah,
more
this
scary?
is a. Oh no, yeah. Let's make it more scary because that was meant to be the theme. So keep to
What
it.
was the first one again?
Violently hunted in the
Violently
Purge, or wake up to find you've survived the start of the zombie apocalypse.
So, are we alone in the zombie apocalypse?
I'd have thought so.
We wake up alone. I think that would be more scary.
I think the Purge is more scary.
Imagine that music. That Purge music is horrid.
I think
Like
the idea of...
of.
I know you could get, like, zombies trying to attack your house, but I feel like the threat is more immediate in the Purge. Like, people could be trying to break in and kill you, whereas zombies might be feasting on other tasty morsels.
They might just be dawdling around a bit first.
The idea of waking up alone and you don't know if you're the only human left would instantly scare me more than waking up. Not waking up. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd deep it that much if I woke up in a zombie apocalypse like that.
Ooh, ghetto.
I feel like I'd be.
No, yeah, man, it's chill.
Right. Anyway,
I don't think I'd. Oh, okay. All right. Move on. No, move on.
Rory didn't have faith in what he's about to say. That's all right.
No, I did. I just had a bad post. That's all.
Would you rather be? No, actually, no. What would be more scary? To be in a saw trap, or be in a Freddy Krueger dream?
I think a saw trap.
Freddy Krueger dream.
Like, it depends which one. Like, you know that one where it's like attached to your like jaw, and you have to like dig a key out of your eye, or in 2 minutes, or it's gonna rip your head open. That would. Okay.
Say you have just come out of consciousness. You don't know what's happened to you yet because you feel a bit numb and a bit groggy, and you see the saw. You see Jigsaw on your screen and in front of you, compared to being in a Freddy Krueger dream and knowing it's a Freddy Krueger dream, but nothing else happened yet. So just that sort of initial few seconds, which would be more scary?
Okay, in the initial few seconds, I'm still going to go with Saw.
Freddy Krueger.
Ah,
I
actually don't know.
He can like move the dream about, fuck around with you. You can't. And if you got into the Freddy Krueger dream, even if you knew it was a Freddy Krueger dream, how'd you get out of a Freddy Krueger dream? At least with the saw trap, they sort of gives you instructions on how to get out. Like, you know, you know how to get out.
With the saw, they're going to give you a countdown, and unless you do this little trick or trap or whatever, you've got 1 minute left until your jaw gets ripped off.
Well, you got to kneel down, put your paws up, and catch a treat in your mouth, and then you'll be released.
But nah. Freddy Krueger.
You've got 1 minute until your jaw gets ripped off. Like with Freddy Krueger, like even if you knew you were in his dream, you'd be like, "There's a slight chance I can run away and escape this without clawing my eye out and getting a key."
I tell you what, I've often thought we should do this. When we've done this, Rory, you could tweet a poll out on Twitter in case we actually have anyone who's interested in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be me and Rory voting for the opposite ones.
No, it's not like liking or retweeting. You know, there's no effort to do a poll.
Yeah.
So people might actually interact with it.
I think there's an element of hopelessness to the Freddy Krueger dream that there isn't to the saw trap, because the saw trap, you know, you can kind of get out.
I disagree. I don't know. I disagree with that. I don't know. The saw traps, they are a little bit like. Okay, maybe hopelessness might not be the right word, but like there's a similar element. There's you kind of feel like there's no chance you're going to get out of it, like just pure panic.
With the saw traps, I'm not sure the only way. Okay, I'll carry on. With the saw traps, the only way you're going to survive is to put yourself through self-inflicted torture that will be more painful than like anything.
A pound of flesh.
But you're more likely to survive, though.
You're more
Right,
likely.
is that the end of
I'd
the
say
tier?
you're more likely to survive. But I think the initial fear would be more with Saw.
Have you seen Big?
Nah.
Have you seen Big Talk and Mitchell and Webb?
I think so.
Oh, I feel like I should be that kind of host. They'll do like a god one. They'll be like, "Is there a god or is there not a god?" They'll be like, "Oh, I don't think there's a god." Okay, there isn't a god, right? What about you? Oh, I think there is a god. Oh, well, but she just said there isn't a god. Anyway, the next one. There's two. I've got two left. I've got two left. This one's quite a creative one. A horde of Walking Dead style zombies. So different style of zombies. Walking Dead style zombies spot you in the street. Versus be in a house with one infected 28 days later style zombie.
Oh,
is this would you rather or what's more scary?
Always what's more scary. Would you rather just derail me on one
more
of them?
scary is
28
the one.
days.
Yeah, the one from 28
Trapped
days.
in a house with a zombie that can run. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh. But like, I assume when you say The Walking Dead, you mean like one of the like hordes where it's literally like over 1,000 of them.
I suppose so, yeah.
But they're all slow moving.
Yeah,
and I'm fast as fuck.
You're not confined into a house with that.
No, you're not, Rory.
You've not seen my Strava, mate. If these zombies saw my 5k run, they wouldn't come near me.
Rory was a bullet back in the day. You should have seen him. It was just a bit of orange, just a blur running past.
I'm liking the idea of a zombie looking at his Strava and just going, "No, there's no point, mate. we won't get him."
that's how they find their meals, isn't it? Strava records. Oh, he's got his 10k badge this month. Stay away from him.
How many steps have you, Dad?
I just feel like some chewing gum. I'm sorry.
What?
I was laughing it went down my throat and I just coughed it up.
Did you not hear that noise, Henry?
Yeah, did you not hear me?
No.
Yeah. Oh, my throat hurts.
Well, now we found something finally that Tom's scared of.
Oh god,
Dying.
we need to clip that moment up and put it on the YouTube.
that should be our trailer.
Someone in our fan base make a meme out of it. There's probably come on. There must be like 2 or 3 adoring fans out there. Like something like the majority of it is just obligation listens, isn't it? But there must be a few people out there who actually adore this.
Hopefully,
maybe one. Maybe there's one person.
We should do a Bring a Mitt like convention.
I reckon we do a patron. Bring a Mitt. Give us money. We're going to do a fundraiser for us. The proceeds go to us and then 10% to the NHS.
I think that's pretty good.
I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't have been made for charity anyway, so...
Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
We've got a big topic.
This is actually... Well, I did have a couple more, but I think I'll just leave them because they're not the best ones. And we've done a really long time. So the finale... You're in a haunted house.
This one's got a lot more like aura around it than any of the others.
I tried to set the scene in most of them, but it's just tough, isn't it? Because we're in a podcast.
This one's got sound effects.
Well, maybe it's because it's a bit darker, Tom, and it's subliminal.
Ooh.
Slowly getting darker, and it's happening. Well, I say slowly. It's accelerating the darkness. You're in a haunted house. What would make you want to run out of it? A light breeze behind you in a locked room, or a scratching behind a locked door.
Scratching behind a locked door. A light breeze, like a window couldn't be open or something.
The window's open.
Obviously.
This is my finale. This is my best one yet.
A light breeze.
Hang on. if I made the effort and it was a locked room, obviously the windows would be closed too.
Ooh, he's left the fan on.
It's going to be like a door open, but every window open. There's little trapdoors and holes in the walls.
If we were in a haunted house, They could easily, a light breeze could easily just come through like a single pane window as well.
There is no source of a draft. Answer the question again.
Is it? But even with that, with it, my instant reaction to a light breeze
scratching.
would be like, oh, there's a window open or something. My instant reaction to a scratching would be like, oh god, there's something trying to get me.
Yeah.
My imagination proper went wild for that one. Like, I remember when I was thinking of that, I thought, oh, a light breeze, and you turn around, there's nothing there. Oh, that would be horrible. Like scratching.
If I felt a light breeze and turned around and nothing was there, I wouldn't be like, oh my god.
You just put another layer on top and just shrug your shoulders.
No, like, if I was out, if I feel a light breeze normally, I don't turn around expecting something to be there.
A fan? Well, we should definitely do a poll on that Saw Trap versus Freddy Krueger one, because that one was very controversial.
Yeah.
I did a little pathetic fallacy one. We could do that quickly, I suppose, because that's something we learned in English, like the conveying of emotion through weather. What sort of degree of darkness would you find more scary? Pitch black darkness where you literally couldn't see your hand in front of your face, or just enough light for you maybe to see movement? Just imagine you're in a scary situation. You're not just in your room. Like you're in a scary situation, and in one you literally can't see anything. You are blind completely, and the other one where you can see just about like movement, but pretty much pitch black. You describe it as pitch black.
I still think like the complete darkness where I can't see anything would scare me more. Mm-hmm. Just because if there's a little bit of light, it's like one of those things. It's like if you can see it, even if it's like a little glimpse, you'd probably be less scared of it because you know what it is. But if it's complete like darkness and you can't see a single thing, and let's say you hear a little like tap, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna die.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. The final one, and it's just because we're coming up to an hour, and I want to make it 59 minutes, like like £1.99. I want to make it more appealing. A flash of lightning or an eerie mist?
Mist. Because mist would be like Silent Hill. I'd be like, no. Yeah. Pyramid Head's gonna kill me.
Someone walking through the mist, or someone moving around in the mist.
A mist often rolls in early on the moor.
You must really hate saunas.
Slightly different type of mist.
I haven't been to a sauna since I used to go to the gym when I was a kid to go swimming. Even though we weren't allowed in there, I think.
Very scary. Very
scary. Why are we not allowed in saunas? What? Is saunas dangerous for kids? It was a weird end to the podcast, but I'm very confused about that. Does anyone know why?
Idiots, and they'll just pick up the like hot coals.
Are there hot coals? I never saw any
cold.
I never saw any hot coals.
They use some saunas use like hot wet stones to get the steam, I think.
Okay, well, if anyone's sending like a £10 donation or something to our Patreon, which I'll link to the thing, do tell if you know how saunas work, because that could be quite interesting.
But only if you're paying us.
But only if you're paying.
We're not interested if you're not sending us money.
Don't even DM us with feedback unless you're sending us money, because that's all we care about. We haven't made a penny yet doing this, and quite frankly, I'm disgusted at all the free content we're sending out. I mean, do you not agree?
I'm fully on board.
Hours of content.
Hours.
What have we got to show for it?
Nothing.
We might be poorer than you listeners.
Poorer.
We're the creators. We're the idols. We're the people you look up to, and we're poor.
God, we are God.
Idols.
Right. Thank you for coming to the Bring It podcast. Had a good time. I can't believe I actually thought this might have been less than. I initially thought, I might have to really talk to make it half an hour. And once again, we managed to make it almost an hour. So
I just love talking to you guys.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be another good poll. It was what was the one we ended with? An evil clown or Tom? Who do we find scarier? We could do a couple of polls tonight. You could sort that out, Rory, because Rory does the Twitter account. If anyone wants
Paul
to,
Master.
Yeah.
That's me.
Right. Anyway, thank you for coming to the
Henry's
Bring 'Em It
slacking
podcast.
once again.
We sign
that's
off.
true.
I'm on Facebook, so thanks for coming to the Bring 'Em It podcast. We've enjoyed your company, even if it's only imagined. Even if I wouldn't be surprised if half our listeners are just like Anchor messing up or something like that, and just giving us fake views because we got like 11 yesterday for no reason. Don't know what that happened, but we should have had this conversation. I think we should have had this conversation after I stopped recording. So I'm going to stop now. So we can
you do love
continue.
a waffle.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye.